up in the sky. Look, it's captivating. It's energizing. It's Eliances Heroes. Eliances is the destination for entrepreneurs, investors, CEOs, inventors, leaders, celebrities, and startups, where our heroes in business align. Now, here's your host flying in, David Cogan, founder of Eliances.
That's right, and what a show we've got again. Later on in the show, we've got the CEO of the Joint Chiropractic Solutions. They've got tons of locations all around. And thank you for the feedback I continue to get from having the CEO of Land O'Lakes on, an $8 billion company. So make sure you go to Eliances.com. That's Eliances.com. It is the only place where entrepreneurs align. All right. If you're like me, where a lot of people are like, you know what, I want to stay healthy, I want to get healthy, I want to be healthy, but you just run into the issue is convenience, right? It's a lot easier going to a fast food place, but all that. But how do you stay healthy? What's the best way really to be able to get something healthy, get something on the go? Well, you ready for this? We have our next hero. He's trying to solve that problem. He is the CEO, James McMaster of Huel, and you could reach him at Huel.com, Huel.com. All right, James, let's jump right into it. What's going on with Huel, and how is it going to solve the issue of people going from the junk food to wanting to eat healthy? Because I believe everybody, if they had the choice, would rather eat healthy.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, thank you for having me on your show. Really pleased to be here with you. I think you mentioned it there, that most people are looking for a convenient food choice. And the problem is that most fast food is actually junk food. And Huel is food that's quick, easy to make, and it has all the nutrients that your body needs to live at an affordable price with minimal impact on the planet, and it's plant-based. So we are a business that's making waves around the world because we're solving problems that the world needs us to solve.
Now tell me, you've got everything from Huel powder, ready to drink, boosts, Huel bars, granola, and I mean just so where, first of all, where could we get this? And then tell us about these different products and how they came to be.
Yeah, so we launched about 4.5 years ago in the UK, and 99% of our sales are Huel.com, so we are a direct-to-consumer brand. Since that launch in a garage in the UK 4.5 years ago, we're now a global business, and we turn over around $100 million in revenue. And you mentioned there about Land O'Lakes being $1 billion. So we've got aspirations to be as big as people like them. So the journey's been incredible to do that, and we started with the powder, and effectively it's made up of ingredients like oats, pea protein, brown rice, flaxseed, sunflower, and coconuts, and you mix it with water, you shake it up, and then people have it as a meal, and it's food. So they have it as ordinarily a breakfast or a lunch, and some people will have it for a dinner as well. So we launched that first. It's still our number one product. And then from a US point of view, we launched there 2 years ago, and with the powder. And then a year ago, we launched our ready-to-drink version, which is a bottle with a very similar composition to the powder, but you just unscrew it and drink it. And then today, perfect timing talking to you guys, but today we launched our bar. Went live on our website a couple of hours ago, been tracking the sales and smiling and seeing the feedback people are getting. So we've got a wide range now of types of products, but ultimately it's people who want that convenient food that's better for their body and better for the planet.
So how did the idea come to be? I mean, what was the point is okay, we're going to create something that, I mean, really there's not a lot of people doing. How did that come to be?
I think we're a very purpose-led business, and I think if you're going to start a business in the generation we're in now, you can't just be out there to make money. So we, I think, have an extra level of depth to what we do because our founder had already made money and sold a previous business, and he did Huel as a hobby to do something positive for the world. And it stems from the fact that we are a population globally of 7 billion people, and by the year 2050, we're going to be 10 billion people. And the way that we think about food at the moment isn't sustainable. We've got huge problems with greenhouse gas emissions and global warming. We have huge problems with obesity. So half of the developed world are either overweight or obese. And in America, there's a big problem on pre-diabetes. So within 10 years, unless you change something about your lifestyle, you will have diabetes. So we're trying to solve all these problems in one, and I think we just struck a chord with people starting in the UK and now around the world. We sell to 80 countries around the world, and it's ticking off all those boxes of all those points I just mentioned.
That's phenomenal. Well, you know what else is amazing is you listening to me on the Eliances Heroes show. This is David Cogan, and you could reach Eliances by going to Eliances.com. That's Eliances.com. It is the only place where entrepreneurs align. And we have the CEO of Huel, who can be reached at Huel.com, James McMaster, who is really, this is phenomenal. So let me ask you, James, can someone go ahead and then use Huel in regards to instead of eating meals? Is that the thing? Is it a supplement? Is it, can I live off of it? Do I need to eat any other food?
Yeah, we get asked that question a lot. And ultimately, I think traditionally people would have 3 meals a day, right? They'd have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I think that ship has sailed. People will still have meals, but ultimately they're usually having 7 or 8 eating occasions a day. So for some people, they might have a big meal. Some people might have lots of snacking and small meals throughout the day. So we're quite flexible in that you can have different numbers of scoops to hit your nutrition goals for the day. So you might have a 400-calorie portion or a 200-calorie portion. The bars that we just launched are a 200-calorie. But ultimately, what we all want to have is the right amount of macronutrients, which is protein, carbohydrates, and fats, and the right amount of micronutrients, which is all the vitamins and minerals that your body needs. And most of us struggle. Most of us have too much bad sugar and therefore too high in carbohydrates. A lot of people don't have enough protein, and a lot of people do not have the right amount of vitamins and minerals. So Huel has all 27 vitamins and minerals that are what your body needs to live on. So we make it very simple for people to have it. And what we can say is it's nutritionally complete at 2,000 calories, which is a target for most people. Often women are having more like 1,500 and men 2,000. So whilst you can have Huel for the majority of your meals, what we find is that most people have it for, say, their working week, like me. So I have Huel breakfast and lunch, Monday to Friday, and then I have more traditional food with knife and fork with my family during the evenings and weekends.
Now, how do you manage? You're in over 80 countries now. You've got well over 100 employees. How do you manage all this growth? Because, you guys just continue to grow, and obviously there's a strong demand for it.
Yeah, it's tough. We've grown very quickly, and most of the time that's a positive thing, and you adapt accordingly. We're very fast moving and fast thinking how we are. I think we're a direct consumer brand, which means it's much easier to go global. Like I worked for lots of brands that are more traditional retail in the past, and it's much harder because you've got buyers who work for retailers who might only change their shelves once or twice a year. And therefore, it's a bit of a slower progress. So, we have scaled a lot faster than most businesses, and I'm just constantly trying to find ways of moving us forward. But ultimately, it's about people and selecting the right people, and we are meticulous in how we do that. So we've got a very strong interview process. We even give 2 team members a culture veto as to whether someone should or shouldn't be allowed to join Huel. I've just got off our bi-weekly, what we call All Hooligans. That's an all-hands meeting. So we're just constantly trying to communicate better, share what's going on, find the right people, and be open with each other. But I think the key for us is our customers tell us what to do. They tell us where to go. We've got a forum on Huel.com, and the feedback there every day is huge. So that is, I look at it every day and try and work out what can we be doing better, because when you are scaling quickly, there's loads you can be doing better. So it's difficult, but we're quite intense, and we we just try and make customers happy.
James, with about a minute left, our listeners want to know this. In regards to and how are you going to go ahead and teach your children, both Lainey and Finn, in regards to making their mark in the world like you are doing, really changing the whole environment of how even people are thinking about food? How are you going to go ahead? What kind of secrets and things do you share with them?
Oh, wow, great question. I think you've got to be honest, and they've got to ask where food comes from, and ask about food waste. So, I've got Lainey, she's coming up to 4 years old, and sometimes she won't eat her food. And I remember my parents telling me when I didn't want to eat my food as a kid that there are people around the world who don't have any food. And it's such a tough message, isn't it, when they're a certain age? I think it's difficult at their age, but I think understanding that food should be good for the planet as well is a key one. And we're quite keen at Huel to make people think about carbon footprint of the food that they eat. So hopefully we'll start having that in our packaging, and I think it's something we can educate children on to make sure that it's about nutrition and it's about taste, and it starts at a really early age to make sure you're giving the right nutrition to children so they're not just stuck with a sweet tooth throughout their lives.
Well, James, you and Huel provide healthy, complete solutions to the challenge of eating well. That's right, and helping to innovate and reduce waste. You know what? That's a hero. James McMaster, CEO of Huel. Make sure you go to Huel.com, Huel.com. This has been David Cogan with Eliances.